You're watching Sailing into a Wall of Tidal Waves near Eday on Orkney on our way to Shetland. In this episode, we sail from Kirkwall on the Orkney Islands to Lerwick on the Shetland Islands. It was a long 13 hours journey and we came into a high wall of tidal waves when leaving the Orkneys in the north. It was quite an experience being rocked so hard. This is a video of my series Adventures with my Trawler Yacht Whitehorse, a Grand Banks 36. Here a short info what you will see. We left Kirkwall early at 5 am to a long journey to Lerwick on the Shetland Islands. It was a nice sailing through White Firth and Eday Sound between the various islands. When we reached Lushi Sound between Eday Island and Grafics, we hit this large wall of high tidal waves, which rocked our boat. After that, we had a good, although long run to Shetland. As you can see on the map, it was a long turn from Kirkwall to Lerwick on the Shetland Islands, 185 kilometers. A large part on the open sea lay ahead of us. It would take us about 13 hours. The route included two special incidents: the falls of Warness and the tidal wall of large waves near Eday. In my first planning, I had envisioned having an overnight stop at Fair Isle, but this had to be cancelled due to the latest weather predictions. As John Sutton helped me on my tour to Norway, I took the time to plan ahead, checking the weather and wave conditions and predictions of change in air pressure. I discovered that I only had 3 days left for the big last adventure to cross the North Sea to Norway. After that, there was a lot of wind and rain predicted, with northerly storm whipping up the sea. The task was clear: either get to Norway within these 3 days, or I had to find a good shelter on Shetland for about 3 weeks to wait for better weather conditions. We left Kirkwall very early in the morning, around 5 am. The weather was fine and calm, and the sun had risen in golden rays. We headed north into White Firth, leaving Shetland Island to our starboard side. Having passed Shetland, we changed course to northeast. Did you like my video so far? Then I would be grateful for you subscribing free of charge to my YouTube channel to help me finance my work. Thank you. I got the first very deep impression of tidal streams at the falls of Warness, when we passed Muckle Green Holmes, two very small islands southwest of Eday Island. We had travelled with about 8 knots, but then, right south of these islands, the depth of the sea was rising to only about 20 meters, and the tidal streams were flowing with full strength against us. To my surprise, our boat made suddenly only 0.2 knots, and I had to put the throttle down to fight against this current. It took us about 30 minutes to just cross about 200 meters. Then the strength of the currents fell again to the ordinary level, and we could commence our calm travel as before. Having passed the southern end of Eday Island, we headed north. The weather was exceptionally fine and warm, and I enjoyed a perfect view from the flybridge. But suddenly, I saw a black wall on the horizon with a white line right above. This looked just like large waves awaiting us at Lushi Sound. John had also seen it and was already standing at the bow watching ahead. I joined him and we took a good look through our binoculars. There they were, large wall of high waves breaking at the exit into the open sea. I asked John what to do, and he said that we just carry on and head into this abyss, but tackle it from the port side. We went into the boat, locked the door, and John took his place at the helm. It took not long, and our boat started to rock heavily. John tried to avoid the largest breaking waves. Still, they were at least 2 meters high, and we had to cling to our handles at the ceiling of the helm. Luckily, the waves came mainly from one direction, which made steering through them a bit easier. The whole distance of this tidal spectacle was about 1 kilometer, and it took us between 5 and 10 minutes to pass. But boy, these minutes seemed to pass slowly. Then, as it came, it went, and calmer seas greeted us. journey on the open sea between Orkney and Shetland was unspectacular. Light rain had set in and we could see Fair Island only as a ghostly hill long away. When we reached the southern tip of Shetland, the weather had turned sunny again, and it was nice to watch the coast pass by. At 4:30, we sailed into Lushi Sound and passed Lushi Lighthouse. This lighthouse is about 4 kilometers southeast of Lerwick and marks the southern end of the sound. It is impressive in size. It was built 1854 and today it is owned by the Marine Heritage Centre. The warning lights were replaced 2012 by an automatic 10-mile LED light which flashes twice every 20 seconds. John had phoned with the local diesel supplier in Lerwick harbour as we needed to fill up and were late for the ordinary working hours. As soon as we arrived at the port, the delivery of the diesel was already organized and we could proceed. John had, after some thoughts and talks, decided to be part of the journey also for the following days to cross the Norwegian North Sea. With this, he made it possible for me to keep on traveling and avoiding a long stay on the Shetlands. When I phoned home, they could see me on the online web camera placed at the harbour in Lerwick, which was quite funny. Then we had a nice walk through the town and visited some of the places of the TV crime series Shetland, which we really enjoyed to see. Finally, we got us some fish and chips and returned to the boat, preparing for an early leave during the night. In the next episode, we cross the Norwegian North Sea from Lerwick in Shetland to Western Norway. I hope you join again. If you liked this episode, please consider to subscribe free of charge to my YouTube channel using your Google Gmail account, and do not forget to press the like button. I'm looking forward to you being my guest in my next episode. Until then, goodbye.